Review and revision. Review and revision ensure that the risk management framework remains effective as the organization and its environment change. Organizations operate in dynamic environments where new risks emerge and existing risks evolve over time. As a result, policies, procedures, and controls must be regularly reviewed to ensure they remain appropriate. Periodic assessments of risk management processes help identify weaknesses or inefficiencies in existing controls. When necessary, organizations should revise their risk management practices to address new challenges or improve performance. Continuous improvement ensures that the ERM framework remains aligned with organizational strategy and objectives. Monitoring performance metrics and key indicators plays an important role in the review process. By analyzing data relating to risk exposures, operational performance, and control effectiveness, management can determine whether risk responses are working as intended. If controls fail to prevent or detect risks, corrective actions must be taken promptly. Monitoring also allows organizations to identify trends or patterns that could signal emerging risks. Effective review processes therefore support proactive risk management rather than reactive responses to crises. Review and revision also involve evaluating the overall effectiveness of the organization's risk management framework. Boards and senior management should periodically assess whether the organization's risk management approach supports strategic objectives and delivers value. This evaluation may include reviewing risk policies, assessing internal control systems, and considering feedback from internal audit or external stakeholders. When weaknesses are identified, management should implement improvements and ensure that lessons learned from past events are incorporated into future risk management practices. Information, communication, and reporting. Effective risk management depends on reliable information systems that capture and communicate relevant risk information. Organizations must ensure that information relating to risks, controls, and performance is identified, collected, and processed accurately. Information should be timely, reliable, understandable, and relevant to decision-makers. Without accurate information, managers may fail to recognize emerging risks or make inappropriate decisions. Modern information systems, particularly integrated digital platforms, enable organizations to collect and analyze large volumes of data to support risk monitoring and strategic decision-making. Communication ensures that risk information flows throughout the organization. Employees at all levels must understand the organization's objectives, risk appetite, and their responsibilities for managing risks. Clear communication channels allow employees to report potential problems, control failures, or emerging risks to management promptly. Training, policies, and regular discussions help ensure that employees are aware of risk management procedures and understand how to apply them in their roles. Effective communication therefore supports a strong risk culture and helps ensure that risk management responsibilities are shared across the organization. Reporting provides transparency and accountability for risk management activities. Information about risks, controls, and performance must be reported to appropriate stakeholders, including senior management, the board of directors, and sometimes external stakeholders such as investors. Regular reporting allows decision-makers to evaluate whether risk management strategies are working effectively and whether additional actions are required. Transparent reporting also strengthens corporate governance by enabling oversight of management's risk management activities and ensuring that significant risks are appropriately addressed. Identifying and evaluating control weakness and compliance failures. Identifying control weaknesses is an important part of maintaining an effective internal control system. Control weaknesses occur when existing procedures fail to prevent or detect errors, fraud, or non-compliance. Internal auditors and management use a variety of techniques to identify weaknesses, including reviewing documentation, observing processes, and conducting control questionnaires. Tools such as flowcharts and system documentation help auditors understand how processes operate and identify points where controls may be ineffective or missing. Identifying weaknesses allows organizations to strengthen controls and reduce exposure to operational, financial, and compliance risks. Evaluating control effectiveness involves assessing whether controls achieve their intended objectives in practice. Even when controls appear adequate on paper, they may fail in real operations due to poor implementation or lack of compliance by staff. Auditors therefore perform tests of controls to determine whether procedures are being followed and whether they effectively prevent or detect errors. If controls are ineffective, the organization may face increased risk of financial misstatements, fraud, or operational failures. Management must respond by redesigning controls, improving monitoring processes, or providing additional training to employees. Compliance failures occur when employees or managers fail to follow established rules, policies, or legal requirements. Such failures can undermine internal control systems and expose organizations to legal, financial, or reputational damage. Internal audit plays a crucial role in identifying compliance failures and reporting them to senior management and the board. Transparent reporting ensures that corrective action is taken promptly and that similar failures are prevented in the future. Effective governance requires that organizations respond decisively to control failures, reinforcing accountability and maintaining stakeholder confidence.